How much are you willing to sacrifice to save your world?
Hi, I'm Chad Robertson. I'm joined today with Chris King, our game director, and Tal Peleg, our cinematic director. We're here today to talk about our latest trailer, which we revealed at the Game Awards. We thought we'd sit down and walk you through some of our favorite moments and some of the things you might have missed. For us, releasing this trailer was a huge moment, not just for the three of us, but for the team overall. We have a lot to share about Exodus, and the trailer represents a lot of hard work from a lot of people. So let's dive in. Yeah, this is a super exciting shot. Tal, for reference, this is, you know this one because you recorded it, but we've got the Crown Knight smashing through the wall and attacking June.
So yeah, it's basically a mixture of PCAP and keyframe and hack keyframe. We have awesome animators. The actual action itself is fully keyframed. One
of the things in here, Chris, is the Crown Knight. I don't think the players know who that is or what that is. Can you elaborate a little bit?
That's one of our big boss fights. The thing I love about the Crown Knight, he's got the most exotic attacks in the game.
Who are you?
So one of the coolest parts of the trailer for me is the big reveal of CC Orlev, who's voiced by Matthew McConaughey.
I'm a friend.
He plays a really critical role in the game. He's a mentor and advisor to June, the main player character.
He sort of helps June out throughout the course of the game. He shows up on broadcasts, so yeah, that's probably about as much as I can say about CC Orlev.
Celestials are the enemy of humanity.
So the Remnant Ghost guys, what do you think? This is a big reveal for us.
This is a super important part of the game. Constructs are these enemies that you see all over. They're sort of laid on different planets to sort of protect the celestial technology and stuff that's there.
A relentless threat to our very survival.
There's this scene that's really kind of iconic in the trailer where, to represent that beginning for June, where he literally gets knocked into the mud. And I think that's kind of metaphoric for what he really goes through in the beginning of the story.
I can't do this anymore. Salvaging scraps just to get by.
So the scene is called Pathetic Breakfast, and we're actually seeing June at his very modest room.
Well, he lives in a trailer.
He lives in a trailer.
This is like his lowest point, though, right?
That's basically,
yeah.
That's basically it. He's poor. He's just salvaging scraps to get by. He's with his early companion, Awakened, and there's more to him than meets the eye, other than just character motivation.
Jet, child of Orion, fulfill the purpose for which you were crafted, and seize your destiny.
Like Tal was saying on the scene here, this is probably one of the most impactful, hard-hitting scenes.
I was fortunate that I got to be on site when Tal and the crew and the cast recorded this one, and it leads to a big emotional moment in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get to see a couple more characters. One of them is a Celestial. The performances were amazing.
So this is one of my favorite parts of the trailer, and you sort of have to piece some things together, though. But when we talk about June's hero journey and kind of going from a nobody to a somebody, this is sort of that moment. This is what makes June special. They get a hold of the gauntlet, and then that's when the gameplay in the game really starts to go crazy. There's a bunch of really cool stuff there, and we sort of rapid fire at you, so you might not pick up on all of it. You'll see someone break a hole in a wall. That's actually one of your companions, Solomon. You're actually telling him to break a hole in a wall. He's got a special mechanic called Breach, which he can do in certain places in the level. You'll see a scene where June actually rappels down using his rail claw, and it's got this really cinematic view as you sort of descend. We also have the Recycler featured in there. You might have caught a glimpse of that. It's the gun transforming. There's some really cool stuff happening there. One of the things we've talked about in the past is the Recycler. June doesn't have a lot of means for carrying tons of ammo and weaponry on himself when he goes out, so the Recycler is a tool he can use that transforms to different modes. It uses scrap material that you can throw in for ammo.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last Founders Q&A, I think, Chris, but we didn't have visuals to represent kind of that transformation of it as cool as we've shown in the video here. And so I think hopefully for those that have been following along, you can go back and listen to Chris's response about it before. It's nice to be able to share with you kind of just how cool that weapon is, because it does advance with June along his journey and does some really cool things that we're proud of.
So you'll see some quick glimpses here. There's a segment where you might not be able to tell what's going on, but this live stone's growing out of the ground. That's actually June using the shape glyph on the gauntlet to do that and get to different areas. You'll see him punch the ground and this huge livestone ripple comes up and flings enemies. That's another glyph he has access to later in the game called Eruption.
If you've read Peter Hamilton's books, you'll be intimately familiar with Livestone. But for those that aren't familiar, think of it like a mineral and vegetation mix. But June, because of his DNA, I'll just put it that way, has a unique way he can manipulate and interact with it, and it manifests through the gauntlet.
Our world is dying. You are the only one who can wield celestial tech and find a cure.
Oh, let's talk about this one. This is one of my favorite scenes. More bosses.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So we show a bunch of enemies throughout the trailer, and the bosses are kind of hidden in there, so you have to sort of peek. This is the, can I say the name?
Do it.
Redeemer.
Yes.
He's a construct that's thousands of years old.
To Chris's point, he's a mysterious construct, but there's some elements of where he comes into the story that are super cool because, frankly, June has never seen anything like this before, and so it's a big encounter for her. So, for fans, the track we selected for this trailer is by the Marias. If you're not familiar with the Marias, they're an indie pop band from LA. We're honored that they let us include their track, which is called Hush, as we share this reveal of Exodus. The energy is what sold us, and the vocals match the aesthetic of what we're looking for. It feels relevant, and we wanted to do something unexpected and different, but also authentic. And thanks to the Marias for letting us use that iconic track as part of our Exodus reveal. So we've talked a bunch previously about time dilation. The trailer shows June preparing for his mission and then traversing what are called the gates of heaven for the first time. These gates are the interstellar pathways that allow travelers to move at light speed between stars. And it's that travel that marks for June an Exodus mission in this game. And that's the inspiration for our title.
We don't show this in the trailer, but one of the things I love is the build-up we do in the game when you go on these Exodus missions too, and how weighty they are, and you're contemplating what everyone on your home planet's doing and people you've left behind, what they're up to.
And his homeworld's known as Persepolis. I don't think we've shared that before, but we also share some glimpses of that later in the trailer for the very first time. But we'll have a bunch more on that later.
You could save all of us.
I was on an alien world. Felt like I was finally doing what I was made for.
Thank you, June.
Ooh, this is a good one. You guys want to talk about this? We're about to do rapid fire on characters here.
Yeah.
So if you look super close, we kind of show you a whole bunch of important story characters in the game.
Oh, this scene, guys. Yeah, here she is. So come on, guys. We can't not talk about Salt, right? Players see her in action for the very first time in this trailer. And she's a awakened octopus fighting in a mech suit. Like, what's more cool than that? So my favorite part of Salt is her one-liners and her sense of humor. I wish we could share more details and give you some examples, but I literally laugh every time I play the game.
Ooh, another boss. This is a good one. So this is the Awakened Warbearer, and this sort of shows the variety we have in our enemies and bosses. This thing's gigantic too, super powerful. This is a really fun boss fight.
The fight for survival has consequences. How far are you willing to venture? How much are you willing to sacrifice to save your world?
Damn, kid. No pressure there.
That's us in parting. Cal, anything you want to add?
Yeah, this is very exciting. We're very happy with this trailer. Can't wait to show more.